Hello Bits and Bytes! Welcome to what will most likely be the last Patreon Q&A for a very long while. I'm shutting down my Patreon at the end of this month. So, let's just get on with the Qs, alright? Let's just enjoy this. Let's just get in it, set yourself down, just do what we always do. Let's die the way we lived, right? That sounds depressing. So the first questions come from Lavelane. Guess the obvious one is, why are you closing your Patreon? Basically, Patreon has become more time-consuming than I originally intended it to be. If you have the time to run your Patreon the way I have, then that's good. It's not bad. It's not the wrong way to do it. You know, you get a lot of one-on-one time with your viewers, and you get to connect that way, and you get and I've met some cool people this way, you know? But it's become very time-consuming. I'm sure you've noticed that I haven't been uploading videos as regularly as I've wanted to. Editing videos for DLive has been, it's still been really fun. Like, he's still really entertaining, and again, that's why I really enjoyed it. But it's a little more time consuming than I originally had intended, just like the Patreon thing. So these two things don't work, it just doesn't, it can't happen. So that's part one of why. Part two is because the time that I'm putting into Patreon, the money that I'm actually getting contributed as in return for my time put into Patreon is less than I make working for Donnie. Well, kind of. It actually breaks almost even. Actually, I haven't fully done the calculations. The point is, though, the comic's coming up soon. The comic return date. My comic, over at Kakujo has been on hiatus for, like, a while, and it will be until January 7th of 2017. So there is something to look forward to in January, hopefully. But I'm, like, pulling my hair out over it because I'm not ready. I still can't even get my own videos out regularly, so this is a problem, you know? So I'm closing Patreon. After the comic's been up and I know I can get the comic out semi-regularly for a while, I might reboot the Patreon in a very simplified format, like $1, hey, thanks for supporting me. You know, when I make posts on Patreon, you can see it. $5, group stream, we get to chat or something like that. You know, just something a little less intensive as this one has been. The goal is to make time for the comic, right? Because I really want to do the comic. I know not a ton of people read it, but I like doing the comic. I love drawing comics. I love drawing. So I feel like if I don't do it, I'm going to feel weird. When the comic does come back, though, it's going to be pretty different. It's going to be, I won't announce anything. I really want to, but I won't, because what if I change my mind? You'll see, just wait till January 7th. So, lighter topic. Since it'll be after the 18th when the video goes up, did you get Sun and or Moon, and if so, are you enjoying it? I'm playing Sun. Normally I'm the type that plays like, you know, oh, I'm going to get the one that like no one else is playing, but you know, it's always like half and half anyway. But no, I want the Sun. I want the Sun. I'm working on this story. Good thing you reminded me, my DS was about to die. Whew. That was almost a disaster. How are you enjoying Diva now that you have the proper skin? Oh yeah, the Biva skin. I haven't played Overwatch in a while, actually. Sun and Moon and Skyrim have kind of eclipsed it out. And I'm also waiting for them to stop changing everyone I play as every 2 weeks. Like, it's cool that they're making updates and they're making changes. Probably needed changes to a lot of the characters, but it's just like, ooh, I've said this many times before. I'm a creature that memorizes from habit. So much repetitive habit. And when I muscle memory it into my brain how to play Diva, then they change it and now I'm confused. I'm still getting used to the way her defense matrix works now from the last time they changed her, and that was months ago. So I'll check her out soon, probably, maybe. Not a question, the NES Classic launch was total butts. I couldn't get one either. Normally I would razz you about that not being a question, but I completely agree. I was like refreshing on Amazon at 2 p.m. PST that day, and the site just crashed and wouldn't let me add the thing to my cart. It was stupid. I mean, I get it, but like Nintendo sent like one to Amazon, because they've been doing this forever. Nintendo, this is nothing new, folks. Nintendo's been doing this since the 80s with Mario Brothers 2, and we just still keep doing it. And people try to come over and they're all like, oh, Nintendo can't get away with this anymore now because it's the 2016. We've got so many other games to choose from. But no, Nintendo is Nintendo. People are going to keep buying Nintendo. I'm personally not going to get an NES Classic anymore. I have those games available to me on so many other devices, and the only reason I was going to buy it was because of the convenience, because I could just plug it in, get the controller, which apparently was only like 2 feet long or something like it. It was, yeah, a little over 2 feet long, which was ridiculous, and then just play the games. Also, now I hear that the emulation on the NES Classic isn't perfect, like the sounds aren't perfect, there are some freezes and stuff, like they didn't really, I didn't expect them to go in and fix any previous bugs or whatever, but it's, yeah, just, I'm not getting it. I'm over it. I'm totally over it. Definitely not gonna get it. I'm actually serious, but there's that tiny part of me that's like, yes, you are, but I don't know. Not gonna do it. Next set of questions comes from Shifter25. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? That's a hard one. Before I feel like I used to know. Green bean casserole. But then, we actually just, the other day, had Friendsgiving with some of the Stumps, and, Tenorio and Lily. And Jasmine brought over this casserole that was ridiculously good. It was like this corn, cracker, butter thing. I don't remember it. It's 3 ingredients, literally 3 ingredients, and I still can't remember what it was made of, but it was really good. So I really like that now. Turkey if it's done right, though, yeah. Kind of basic stuff. That's like saying, like, what's your favorite Naruto character? Naruto. But yeah, I like good turkey. What's the weirdest pet you and or Tenorio have ever owned? I owned an albino hedgehog when I was in middle school, and he was really awesome. And then he died from a Fruit Loop. I don't want to talk about it. And then Shifter25 goes on to ask, which Pokemon Sun Moon starter are you going with? I went with Rowlet, and Tenorio went with Litten, I think his name is, and she was so mad about the final evolution of that because we didn't spoil anything for us about this game other than the crap that I was having spoiled on Twitter. By the way, if you are retweeting Pokemon reveal stuff on Twitter, I probably muted you for a while, so I'll have to go through my mutes and unmute a lot of people. But, yeah, they keep, like, anthropomorphizing, like, the humanoid, the final evolution of the starters a lot of the times, it seems, and they did that really hard with Litten. I won't show it. Eric, don't show it. We don't want to spoil anything, but Tenorio was really mad about it. Like, she put it in the box. Boo box. These next questions come from Woofy. Now that your Halloween is over, what is your take on the old B-horror movie monsters? Mummy, Dracula, Wolfman. Okay, I don't like Wolfman, I'm sorry, I know. Wolf, I'm sorry. I don't like vampires. I really don't like vampires. Like, I've been playing Skyrim a lot lately, and every time I run into a group of vampires, I'm like literally like this. Like, I like quick save right before it, and if they give me vampirism, I just reload. I know I can use Potion of Cure Disease, or activate a shrine, but that's not the point, it's gross. I don't want that touching me. Mummies are cool, though. I like mummies. The Fishman, I haven't seen anything with the actual, like, the Fishman in it. The swamp thing or whatever, so I don't know about that one. I feel like there's one we're forgetting. Zombies? I like zombies. Those are cool. So zombies and then toilet paper zombies. Poo-poo zombies. Ooh! I suppose... That's what he said, ooh. He said, ooh! I suppose it's not quite Pokemon related, but what do you think about World of Final Fantasy? I'm interested, but still on the fence. I played the demo of that on the PS4, and I don't feel like they didn't market it very well, because apparently it's like Final Fantasy Pokemon, but it's also like, in classic Japanese style, really overcomplicated. Like, there's a ton of UI that makes no sense. You know when you play a Japanese game? No, I mean like a really Japanese game, where you play it, and they just throw you right in to this pile. You're like the well from The Ring, thrown into the well, surrounded by UI, and you're trying to claw up, and you can't figure out what's happening. So that was my experience with it. I'm not gonna get it. My last question, I guess, would be, how do you feel this endeavor with Patreon and us as a community has gone? Would there be things you'd tweak slightly or a different platform you would use? Patreon, especially in the last year or so, have been making a lot of articles where the headline is this clickbaity stuff where it's like, see how this musician went from $0 to $10,000 a month by using Patreon. And invariably, you click on these articles, and they say, the guy had a huge fan base from the start, so of course they went from $0 to $10,000 a month really quickly. Jim Sterling jumped on Patreon and within a week had his earnings up to $10,000 a month. I know that sounds like sour grapes, I know, but I guess I should also put into this story the fact that from the beginning they've claimed that their goal, their mission is to promote smaller people who are putting out quality content and help people who don't already have a gigantic following and help them up and all that kind of stuff. And they have forms you can submit your page through, your post through, and be like, hey, I want to submit this for a chance to be featured on the homepage of Patreon or whatever. And I've done that several times for things that I think had plenty of effort and had a lot of good community interest and all that kind of stuff, and it never happened. And I realize that's still a bit of sour grapes, I guess, but anytime they do like a success story, it's someone who was already successful. Someone who was already there. Oh my god, what was that article? I even tweeted about it. They were like, how this lady now gets $9,000 a month. You read the article, it's the CEO of Patreon's wife. Like, of course! Of course she has $9,000! Jesus! I'll probably still come back to Patreon later. Just, yeah, it's something that's so... It's so dead-endy for really small people still, to the point where, like, I would really only suggest if you're fine financially otherwise, just doing like a $1 and a $3 or a $5 tier and making it really simple. Like, if you're busy and you want to keep a high output, like, if half of the work you're doing is on Patreon perks, I don't personally think that you're doing it right. But if you're doing it and it works out for you, that's fine. It just doesn't work for me. But let's go ahead and answer a few questions from just the comments section of the previous Q&A video. The first one comes from Far Cry Fian. Most important question: yay or nay? Pineapple on pizza? If it's got like really salty ingredients on it, otherwise, and the pizza's got to be like bone dry. Oh god, sometimes people order pineapple and they put it on pizza that's like juicy, like thick with the sauce. You don't put pineapple on thick sauce, or if you do, you're not welcome in my home. Super Soul Silver asks,
Kakujo, what would compose the most annoying RPG boss battle? Definitely not because I want to make a Kakujo game, no siree.
Take just the Pokemon Sun and Moon mechanic where when you get a Pokemon down to low health, they call for help. Like when I was catching Passimian, several Trumbeaks were in a pile next to it, dead. And he just kept calling him, and the Trumbeaks kept flying in like, oh, this is normal, here I am to help. I'm sure that pile of Trumbeaks over there is totally nothing to worry about. What the And then just add more to the pile. It went on forever. Oh god. Yeah, something like that. Some stupid bullcrap replenishment mechanic. Ketsy Fluff asks, have you stocked up on eggnog yet? Also, Small Child Burns. Have I stocked up on eggnog yet? No, I haven't. It is, as of this day, past Thanksgiving, and on the way to Christmas, and now it's time to stock up, but I haven't stocked up yet. I usually only end up getting like 1 quart a year, and trust me, I want to drink it like Timmy's dad did on that one Christmas episode of Fairly Odd Parents, but if I try to, I get really sick. Really sick. It's not fun, so I just, every year, I give a little kiss on the eggnog Blarney Stone and go about my business. But yeah, we got to get some of that. Hydra Slayer 343 asks, do you like dragons? I do. A question from Keebop. Kakujo, are you Tiny Tim's child? Oh, yeah, no. And the final question comes from... Where'd it go? Oh, Dialga the Time Lord. Someone might have already asked you this, but what update did you start Nuclear Throne? Where did you first hear about it? Personally, I didn't even know it existed until I read your comics, and then I watched your videos, and now I'm playing way too much of it. Cheers to start. I started on update 22. I don't remember why. It was on my wishlist for a really long time though. I do remember that. It wasn't Sleep Cycles because I met Sleep Cycles once I started playing Nuclear Throne and putting the videos up, but there was someone mentioned it. I think I played the shooty one. The shooty. Left Rousers, and then I saw that they had released that, and then yeah, Nuclear Throne sat in my wishlist for a long time, and I wanted to see if I could get a key from Vlambeer, and they didn't reply, and I was like, screw it, I'll just buy it. And then the rest is history. That's, I guess I must have just heard about it through press releases and all that. Vlambeer actually does get a good amount of press coverage. Rami is especially something of a superstar in the indie scene, if you're not aware. So that's all the questions for this month. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you patrons for supporting me all this time, and if you didn't support me on Patreon, it's fine too. Thank you for watching my videos. I mean, really, that is at the core of everything, what it's all about, and again, if I bring Patreon back, it will be simple to reflect that, because, I'm making videos, I want to make comics, and I want to make them consistently, and if you want to support me to continue making those things, that's what Patreon will be about. Not for the character sketches I do, not for the thank you messages, not for the gaming time necessarily, but, because you want to see me, and I'm not saying the people who support me now on Patreon are doing it just for the perks, but, bonuses are nice, yeah? But, so yeah, that's how I'm going to see Patreon if I ever come back to it. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye.